Okay, let's get it going. It's Stacy here again. This is the third annual TriPol safety meeting, specially designed for the 7 people that weren't able to make the meeting on Saturday. I'm very sorry you're going to have to sit through this. Well, actually, I'm not. You should have figured out how to do this. You were given ample warning. Anyways, nevertheless, we're moving on. I'm going to share my screen with you, and it'll be back and forth a little bit between me and the PowerPoint presentation. I just want to let you know that Chris had a great presentation on our safe, the one of our info sheets, and we will be working with that towards the latter part of the presentation. Well, let's get her going. I'm going to share screen with you, and it's that one right there. And I'm going to share it. Okay. You should be looking at a screen right now that says a TriPol, third annual safety meeting. I'm sorry about being redundant there. This is, I'm just working at trying to figure out somehow how this technology still works. Pretty new to us. Congratulations that you're even here and watching this. It will be in a YouTube video, and you're probably watching it on YouTube. Okay. Obviously, it's a special presentation for you. You will be asked some skill testing questions. These are 3 of the questions we're going to be asking you at the end of this presentation. This way I know that you've watched it, and it bodes well for us with our insurance company. Here we go. Oops, I was in the wrong screen. Here's the 3 questions. Keep your eye open for them when we're going to be going through the presentation. And as we get through that, we'll end off with a couple of words that Stan asked me to say. Okay. There's nobody that goes the extra mile more than Stan. He has set a huge standard for us. And now with many companies we work with, we are a best-in-class company. I might add at this point some of the things that keep us best in class. We are a testing ground now for Keep Trucking. Just so you know, we're going to be changing all of our ELDs and cameras sometime at the latter part of January and into February. There's been some problems with the ELDs and the dash cams, and they're replacing all of the hardware, and they'll filter through sometime in February. We're also working with Keep Trucking. We're going to be doing a test for their new Hubble dash cam. I'm hoping it's going to have rear-facing cameras off the mirrors. I've been consulting with their people, and they've had some problems with making the cameras stick or not get blown off. But they understand the value of seeing backwards along each side of the trailer. When I say rear facing, it is alongside of the trailer. It is not into the cabin, much to the relief of probably all of you. Okay, next. We're also doing a test with awesome fuel additives in engine oil additives. We're working on 4 trucks right now, and that we're hoping to increase the longevity of a truck and at the same time get better fuel economy. Time will tell. It's a very positive test. They're paying for 100% of everything. It is probably going to be a 4 to 5 month test in total. And that's, to me, very encouraging. And now there was something else I wanted to tell you that oh, right. I'm also investigating pre-pass and easy pass instead of the DriveWise. DriveWise is be moderately successful, but if we can find something else better, we will. Okay, moving along. Let's get this thing rolling here. State of the Union. We've had some very interesting things happen at TriPol this year. Many of you do not know that we ended up purchasing 20 new trailers, of which we received 19. This really prompted us to have a good look and install trailer trackers on all of our trailers. Um, we haven't lost obviously a trailer since, but not all the trailers have trailer trackers on them. And in the very near future, they all will. It's also helped us for dispatching to make things run even a little bit smoother. Very interesting enough, we did have no driver turnover from January to August. That's pretty astounding in our industry, where 50% turnover per year is norm. We are now 30% of our driver fleet are now women, and they're affectionately known in the office as part of the LTL crew. Lisa, Terry, and another Lisa. These girls do a fabulous job. I wished I had more of them. They just do a really good job all around. What else we got going on here? There we go. I do believe this. We have some issues with some of the drivers, but we do have the best group of drivers I have ever seen. And it's getting better and better all the time. It's quite a breath of fresh air that we don't have to turn around and actually train new drivers constantly. And most of you guys just do an amazing job. However, we are facing some very big challenges as we move into the new year. Let's have a look-see. We have record low freight rates, and it's kind of interesting. We know the record low freight rates have had a lot of people go under, but every time somebody goes under, it seems like a new person pops up, and there's still too much capacity of too much trucks. The mere fact that we are moving up and down the road pretty consistently with not much layover bodes well for our planning team and people sourcing out loads. What else we got going on here? Far too many trailers are leaving the yard or not able to leave the yard with defects. This is a really big problem. We're going to solve this going into the next year. Many of you who have been responsible for not doing good post trips, you're not going to be very happy with us. Just pulling the pin, dropping the legs and going is going to have to change. With people driving out, not catching something that should have been caught, it often slows down your trip 2, 3, 4 hours to fix something that should have been ready when you leave. We've had more incidences that were very costly to TriPol. We had a trailer destroyed in Texas by a tow truck. We're still in negotiation with them, but it looks like it's going to litigation. That means legal, that means costly, that means more time, but what a pain that's going to be. But it's also, we're into this situation for about $25,000. And so far the company has, the insurance company has offered us, I think it was about 6. Not very good when the trailer actually cost about 14 at that point. We had a wheel bearing fire that destroyed a trailer that we ended up having to purchase because of it was a caravan trailer, and we had a tree fall on a trailer, which cost us about $10,000. But most importantly, we've had a record amount of accidents in 2027, which I can think of, and the total cost to us has been in the $60,000 mark. That's $60,000 right off the bottom line. There's bonuses in there that we can't pay out or may not be able to pay out what we'd like to be able to pay out. 60 grand is a lot of money. Many people think that a trucking company has lots of money. Well, has lots of cash flow, which is a lot different than having lots of money. I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want any more information about how cash flow works versus about having a lot of money, don't hesitate. And I know you will, and I know you won't come and talk to me, but do come and talk to me. Okay, what do we got going on here? Just hang on. Okay, yes, now I know what I'm doing. There we go. Last year, our carrier profile improved significantly. the carrier profile is really important because the number on the carrier profile that we achieve through safe driving, through no tickets, no violations, etc., that impacts our cost of insurance, and the carrier profile impacts the cost of insurance by 60 to 65%. I wish that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you guys at the end. It just came to my mind now. Anyways, since July, our care profile has gotten worse and worse. The bad part is I know what's coming down the pipe. I know what we're going to be responsible for. I know what's in tickets, what's coming. And we've had far too many tickets, bad inspection collisions, bad inspections, better post trips when you're finished, and all of this can affect insurance rates. And this trend can be fixed, but it's up to you. And I do mean it's up to you because the people in the office can't control this. Let's take a look at what really great operators do. And I make a big distinction between great drivers and great operators. You need to be a great driver to be a great operator, but there's lots of guys running around who are really good drivers, but they're not good operators. So moving right along. What are the 6 habits of great drivers? And I know that you guys know these. They've been in the TriPol Tribune. We've asked questions about these from time to time. And we're going to go in sequence from the 6th to the 1st, the most significant. Great operators are not in a hurry. They give lots of space to everybody around them. The vice president of Ford Motor Company said in 1957, said that the best way to avoid accidents is to keep lots of space around you. In an upcoming Zoom safety meeting, we're going to be talking about space and how far and how close you follow somebody from behind. Many of the hard braking events I see, there's a 2-second delay from the time the driver sees the event to the time they hit their brake. Now, what would happen if they had a 6-second cushion instead of a 2-second cushion, which most people drive with? The 6-second cushion would give them lots of space, no more hard braking events, and guess what? You're going to arrive at your destination 6 seconds later. Big deal. Another habit of great drivers is they plan their route. They check the weather. They know where they're going. They have a really good idea of where all their fuel dumps are going to be, and they know where they're going to be sleeping, and in most cases, understanding where they're going to be stopping to eat or planning to eat, and they adjust their plan accordingly as they go about their drive. Another one thing they do is they read signs and traffic patterns very well. You're going to see a couple of videos here where it was very apparent that they didn't pay attention to what they are doing. They didn't read signs and traffic patterns very well. And maybe that's because they were not paying attention to what they were doing. And the number one thing that makes a great driver and a great operator is that they look far down the road. This is also going to come up in an upcoming safety video. Okay, I'm just going to go down my little list here a little bit further. Okay, here's a situation upcoming. Now, this driver totally misses the 50-kilometer construction sign down in the lower right-hand corner. Here we go. Here's your first video. Situation 1. Pay attention. Now, as a driver, there's the 50-kilometer sign right there. And as you can see, down at the bottom of the screen, it's just now he starts to brake. And I'm going to ask you the question, what the hell was this guy thinking? Do you see all the people over in this area right here? I don't know if you can see it with my cursor, but those are people coming in the other direction that have been stopped. This guy was what? What was he doing? Okay, during the presentation that we did on the last Saturday, we actually had people commenting about these different things. There's 5 things the driver missed, and they're not in any specific order. So we let everybody comment on this, and everybody did a really good job, because by and large, every one of them figured out that the driver was not looking far enough down the road. He wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. He wasn't reading traffic signs well. Interesting enough, you're going to see another video where the guy, this particular driver, did not read a traffic sign. And it appears that he was in a hurry. What can I say? Okay. What good habit had nothing to do? What good habit out of the 6 different habits you saw before had nothing to do with his very poor action or reaction? Yep, you got it. Had nothing to do with the road planning, because they're in southern Alberta. There's only one road, and that's just the way it is. Now, here's situation 2. This is a really interesting situation. Okay, and this is a live situation. Happened, I think it was in June. Now watch what's going to happen here. Watch from the left-hand side, right there. Whoa. The only damage that was done was the dry cleaning bill and the cleaning bill for the inside of the driver's seat. That was amazing that this driver, I'm just going to bring it back again. Look at this. Just amazing that that driver did not hit that individual. Brilliant driving in this. Now, the very next slide. I get it right. What is the one habit that this driver nailed? Absolutely nailed. Now, I wish we could have dialogue back and forth with you, but we can't, because this is you're going to be watching this on YouTube. But this driver, it was a girl, was paying attention. Lisa Prince. This is something that you want to remember at the end of the presentation. What's the second thing Lisa did that probably prevented a major collision? Had she whacked on the brakes or slammed on the brakes hard, high probability she would have been involved in a wreck, and that would not have been a good thing. And hard to say if it would have been her fault or not. Anyways, this is what she did do. If you figured this one out, kudos to you. She did not hit the brakes. As soon as you hit the brakes really hard, you lock them up, and what happens? And we're going to discuss that in another slide. Now we're going to go through a little further. Whoa, I'm working off of 2 screens. That's why you see my head turning to the left. Going back up here. There we go. Oh, this is an interesting one. Again, having to do with brakes. Okay, southern Saskatchewan, Trans-Canada Highway. Heavy winds from the right-hand side. Our drivers drive. These are all our drivers off of our dash cams, guys. Our drivers driving along. A little greasy. Heavy winds coming in from the right-hand side. Starts to get pushed over. And look right here. I'm going to stop this. Look right here. It was right here he hit the brakes. But see how far he went. He was starting to get pushed over right here. And I just want to get this back right there. 5 seconds to 9 seconds. He had 4 seconds in which to address this issue without having an incident. So we're going to go back to here a little further. Let's have another look. Here he goes. Here he goes. And what does he do? Right about here, slams on the brakes. No more steering control. And interesting enough, way down off in the horizon, there's another trailer there. Tow truck happened to be right there at the time. And that tow bill for our driver was only $590. Not a good way to blow your days or 2 days of income. Definitely not good. And if it's one of our company drivers, even more income than that. So let's just move along here if I can. Why did this driver end up parking in the ditch? Well, I've already talked about a lot of the things this driver did. So let's just review a few of these things. The driver was in the slop on the left side over the line for 4 seconds before he took his foot off the throttle. There was no slowdown on the graph. And then once he got almost to the point of no return, he slammed on the brakes. Where does this come from? What's the outcome of slamming the brakes on too hard? We kind of alluded to it in the last slide. But let's see what we got here. You lose steering control. What should have this driver done? Backed off the throttle earlier. How many times have you lost your steering in the front end and then didn't go off the road, didn't get into troubles because you just backed out of the throttle? That's what you need to do. Okay. Now, the next one is an interesting one. It was in the springtime from last year. I think it was June. This becomes amazing. It's a green light at an intersection. He's through the intersection. Oh, he's slowing down. Son of a gun, he's backing up. Wow. Backing up. Can you imagine? At an intersection on a 2-lane road. Recipe for what? Disaster. I'm sure you figured that out. When we were watching it with a whole bunch of the rest of the crew, which you guys missed, when we were watching this, most of the guys just blurted out, fire the person. As many companies, he would have been fired immediately. Okay, we're going to watch that again. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Oop, no, we didn't. What are the two habits? This particular driver who did this, what did he miss? Paying attention to what he was doing? And they probably hadn't planned the road. But what was the big mistake? I know you got it. Backing up. Big, big mistake. So if you're backing up in a situation in forward moving traffic, what do you do? This is an open question. We got a lot of great answers. I'm just trying to think. There was so much action going on with the people yakking about this, but the best thing was in a situation like this, we heard make 3 right-hand turns and you're going to be right back on where you need to be. Now, he may not have been able to do that, but you go further down the road until you can find a way to fix the situation. That's the bottom line. Never, ever, never, ever back up in a situation like this. Okay, here we go. The next 3 videos are going to be really quick. I'm not going to give you a lot of dialogue on this one or the next 3. Here we go. You'll recognize that this is coming down in Revelstoke. Now look at this. 9 to 10 seconds after the flashing warning light, and watch this truck. Watch this truck. He got scared because he thought our driver was going to run the red light. Wow. 9 to 10 seconds, and he didn't slow down. Inconceivable. Here's another one. This guy had 12 seconds before he started to slow down. Just now, a hard break. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna do that again. Way back here, he sees the lights flashing. Doesn't look ahead, not looking far enough down the road, and bam, he's on the hard brake. I know that none of you would ever do this, right? Well, that's what everybody thinks. Now, this is a really interesting situation. It's somewhere down, I think, in Southern California, somewhere in Oklahoma. Doesn't really matter where it is, but watch this. This is actually gets really scary. Come on, there we go. Whoa, he's got a signal light on, turn in the middle of nowhere, turning there, and our driver cannot move over because it would have hit a tanker, and bang, three tractor trailers would have been in a wreck. With flames ensuing, that would have been a massive explosion. The good news is our driver did not panic at this, whoops. So I want to actually go back to the previous screen. I'm sorry. Previous. Our driver here, and I'm going to run it through again. Our driver here could not pay attention enough to see that this guy was slowing down. Didn't obviously not looking down the road far enough, and slams on the brakes right there. Look how close they are. You're doing almost 100 feet a second at this point. If there had been an accident, there would be only one person to blame, and it wasn't the guy making the stupid turn left. Okay, I'm going to wrap this part up really quickly. You need to write down how many situations you saw, how many situations did we review, and how many habits are there. And I need you to give me 4 habits of great operators who did some great driving in a rainstorm. What was the name of the person? And what did she not do which prevented an accident? Okay, those are the 5 questions you need to send to me to my email address. You all have it. And I'm going to very quickly here, I'm going to try to do this. All new territory. Right here. See if I can get this work this right now. Stop sharing. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put a pause on here. I hope that's a pause. Okay, Chris asked me to step in for him and help you guys in this info sheet. We're still having people doing dumb things with regards to procedures. The info sheet, if you don't have this info sheet, please let me know and I'll get you another one. I'll get it laminated so you can use it whenever you need it. It's not going to get torn, shredded, or anything else like that. This is a huge thing as far as Chris is concerned to keep the operation of the company working on a daily basis and an effective and efficient basis, which hopefully will keep you running down the road more frequently. Okay, obviously hours of service, but the number one thing he wants to talk about is emergency procedures. I tested him the other day about that 15-minute thing, and it was in the evening, and it was quite late. And sure enough, I had a broken down truck when I was down in Billings, and excuse me. Sure enough, it did work. After hours, you dial the regular number, and then you press 0 for after hours, and you leave a message, and you will be connected to within 15 minutes. Now, it often talks about what is an emergency. At 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you realize you're going to be late, that does not constitute an emergency. If you have a flat tire and you're in a truck stop at the same hours, in all likelihood, it can be fixed first thing in the morning, and you turn around, text us a message, what's going on. Those are not emergencies. Emergencies are such that life may be involved, a life or death situation. An emergency situation could be you're on a hot load, it's before 9 o'clock at night, and you got to get there, and you're stuck in a storm, or you've been blown off the road, things of that nature. They have to be addressed, and you need to leave us a message, a detailed message. And if you don't hear back within 15 minutes, phone again, leave the message again. And I'm sorry, I know what it's like being a truck driver. If you're having to be stuck for 30 minutes waiting for a phone call in the middle of the night, it seems like an eternity, which is really a pain in the ass for you. But we don't have, and we're not large enough to have a 24-hour on-call thing that we can effectively manage that. So if you leave a detailed message and it's not an emergency, that we determine it's not an emergency, you will get instructions by text magic as to what to do and how to do it. I'm just looking at, actually, I'm going to move this over to this screen here. And I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. And I'm going to start to share the correct screen so I'm not twisting my neck all up. Share. That's way better for me. Thank you very much for being patient with me. Make this the whole screen. Okay, moving on. There's been a lot of problems lately with people feeling they're not being addressed. And they are being addressed, but not in the fashion they've been used to in the past. We now have 34 trucks on the road and 35 drivers, and that includes city drivers and city trucks. To say we're busy is an understatement, and we do see your messages. We will get to them as soon as possible. We know you want to get rolling. We know that when you're rolling, we're making money, we're being TriPol, and that's huge. Delivery and pickup. As you approach your delivery and pickup, it's important to let TriPol know you're in time. When you're 2 hours away from a 10 a.m. delivery, we need to hear from you between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. Huge importance, so we can make sure that your reload will be available for you. Obviously, there's going to be times when that's not going to work out, because, and you guys know as well as I know, some of the delivery appointments will take longer than anticipated. The number one thing in this, and Chris did a way better job than me, because he went into much more detail, gave really good examples. One of them was about phoning the customer. We actually lost a customer because Deb phoned the other day, and the broker had given specific instructions not to phone the customer, but we knew that if we hadn't phoned the customer, the load wouldn't have been delivered. And what was the last we ever dealt with that dispatcher, because he cut us off. there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I was shocked, actually. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you are not aware of. So please be cognizant of that and pay attention to. We're doing the best job we possibly can in the office to keep you guys rolling down the road. And the easiest way to know is to keep us updated with your ETAs twice a day, 7 to 9 in the morning, and then later in the afternoon between 2:30 and 4 o'clock, just to let us know that your ETA far easier to change and work with a changed ETA than all of a sudden have somebody show up and not let us know. It's way easier to adjust at our end than it is to try to make up some cock and bull story because the driver hasn't given us the information we require. So that's where I'm going to leave it at there. I'm going to stop sharing that screen and bring me back on. Now, I wished I could tell you what Stan had to say. By and large, he's very happy with all the drivers on the road. Most of you guys do an amazing job. You work really hard. There's a lot of trucking companies out of Alberta right now that have gone broke, and a lot of the drivers that are still working for other companies, they're not in the same pay scales as you guys are hauling dry vans. That's just the way it is. Does Stan wish he could pay you guys more? Absolutely. He knows it's tough out there. And we're going to be working on some programs into next year. One of the programs we're going to have to be addressing is the fuel bonus program. That's probably going to be altered, and here's why. We had a driver who made a fair amount of money on the fuel savings program, but had an accident, and we still have to pay him on his program. We're going to tie in a variety of different things. Hopefully, we're going to tie these things up together so that you can get bonuses for great behavior and be penalized for mistakes that you make. It's as simple as that. Okay, that's about it for now. I'm going to flip this over to end of this meeting. Thank you for sticking around. Make sure you answer those questions. How many situations? I love it. I'm getting a hand of technology. Sure. Here's the questions again. How many situations did you see? How many different videos were there? Each video was a different situation. How many habits are there? I need 4 of those habits. Sorry. How many habits in total are there? And what are the habits of great operators? And who did some great driving in a rainstorm? And what did she not do, which clearly prevented an accident? Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for spending some time with me. And we're going to get better and better at doing this, make it easy and even easier for all of you guys. Bye for now.